Hi guys and welcome to I'm a Biker. Well, in front of me is the new 2021 TVS Apache RTR 204V. There are a lot of new features, a lot of new interesting features up front, a lot of things different. I'll take you through what's new basically on this version and what features they have added and how to adjust them and how it makes and explain to you how it makes life more exciting with the new Apache. So the BS6 update already gave the Apache a redesigned headlight, with LED headlights and Bluetooth connectivity, etc. Right, with the navigation and all sort of telemetry data regarding how you ride and all sorts of things that can be connected and viewed on the app. But now with the 2021 upgrade, TVS has given even more to the Apache and made it much more value for money and much more adjustable. The first thing which I'm a big fan of what they did is that they're given adjustable levers for the brakes as well as the clutch. So these are 3-step adjustable, and it's not until you get these adjustable levers that you actually find out that how useful they are, and for different sizes of arms and fingers you can adjust it, and it makes life much more comfortable, especially using the clutch. And you can actually set it in a way, especially the brake lever. And I like my brakes to be tight so that I can control the amount of progression, etc. So I like it to be maxed out and feels very tight and sharp. So with the sharp braking already of the Apache, with the adjustable levers, it definitely makes much more sense to have it, and it's quite new in this segment and much welcome. So the next update that is there on the 2021 Apache is that now it gets 3 riding modes. And well, the first question that comes into your mind is that it does not have ride-by-wire. Then how exactly does it have riding modes? Well, it's basically on the throttle maps on the ECU. So it's fuel injected, right? So when you put on different riding modes, which is basically urban, rain and sport, you have different throttle maps enabled and different ABS sensitivity as well. So in sport mode, you get the entire power, the 20.8 PS of power, peak power coming in at 9,000 RPM. But in the rain and the urban mode, you get slightly lesser power, about 17.3, 17.5 PS, which is decent comparatively in the way that peak power comes in much lesser and decent in terms of city usage, because you're not revving all the way to 10,000 RPM, right? In city usage, you're going to be around that 5 to 7,000 RPM range. So you get more usable power in the city, and the difference between these modes in the city, you really don't feel it. Only out on the highway and when you're really opening up, do you feel the difference between these modes. There's a slight advantage in fuel efficiency as well when you're using it in urban or rain mode, but that's about 2 or 3 kmpl. So not huge, but yeah, in a crunch situation, of course. But the most biggest change which I felt was the ABS intervention levels. For example, in the rain mode, the ABS kicks in very, very early, and it's proper watchdog. It's like wheel slip, okay, ABS. There's no fun element to it, and it sort of kickbacks and catches you by surprise. We always were in the sport mode because we liked it that way. We liked a little bit lesser ABS intervention as well, and the bike, we like it to keep it in sports mode, because at the end of the day, 20.8 PS is not huge enough number, to have ride modes, but definitely much welcome, because it does help and does prepare us for bigger things to come. Another small difference between the ride modes is that throttle response is a bit more softer in rain and urban mode, and of course in the sport mode you get much more quicker action. But again, not that noticeable if you are riding primarily in the city. Only when you really want to whack it open, do you feel the difference? So even the torque numbers slightly vary, but again, like I said, if you're riding primarily in the city, you won't find the difference between these modes. So technically you can put it in urban mode and still enjoy and feel like the bike is a lot of fun. But yeah, like I told you, we have pretty much been in sport mode because it's most fun. So now we've heard of adjustable suspensions, in all the bigger super bikes, adjustable preload and etc. We usually tend to get it on the rear suspension by default nowadays. But for the first time in this segment, we're getting preload adjustable Showa suspensions on the TVS Apache 2021 version. So now basically what is preload adjustment, right? So the whole idea is, see, a bike is going to be ridden by a whole different type of people, different weights, different heights, different with pillion, without pillion, luggage, without luggage. So for every person and every weight, there's a perfect setting for the suspension. So how much do you need to be worried about, setting it up perfectly, since now that you have preload adjustable suspensions? Well, if you're a normal rider, and when I mean normal rider, basically you're getting this bike for the city commute, and you're not really worried about, putting your knee down and, in every corner possible. Well, if you're that sort of rider, well, then it's very simple. Just put it to your maximum soft setting, which is basically you have markings for hard and soft, and basically turn it in such a way, all the way, both the screws all the way to the softest, and that's it. You don't need to be worried about anything else. You have a much more pleasant suspension which basically soaks up all the bumps better, and then that's it. That's all you need to worry about. But now take it one step further. Now you want to adjust it for sag. Well, basically what is sag? Sag is basically when you sit on a motorcycle, depending on your weight, the motorcycle suspensions compress a little bit. So the ideal situation is that you need to get rid of this sag, so that this couple of mm of sag would be there for everybody's weight, right, when you sit on a motorcycle. So ideal situation is that you need to get rid of this sag, so that after this point is when the suspension activates. So once you get rid of the sag, what happens is when you are moving the motorcycle, when you're riding hard and when you're changing direction especially, there is no more that moment which translates into waste of time when you're looking at a track scenario. There's a energy wasted in for the suspension to first compress for that sag and then actually compress for that direction change or that change in braking that you're planning. And for example, we're going hard at the brake. You want the suspension and you want to feel all the feedback from the tire right on your handlebars, right? So if you don't adjust for that sag, there's this small gap or small difference that you feel because first the suspension need to adjust for your sag, and then start adjusting for the traction and actually the braking and the load change that comes into braking. Well, adjusting for the sag for every rider weight is a fine art by itself. I mean, it is simple enough to do it on your own, but I would suggest, at least for the first time, get it done from the service center, and TVS service centers are definitely going to be equipped well to tell you and explain to you what they're doing as well. And then once you find out the correct setting for your amount of sag, then it's all about knowing the correct number, basically which notch marking it is, and always make sure you are in that range. So guys, apart from that, this is basically the BS6 version, which we have a very detailed review all about. So do check that out as well. I'll have the link below in the description. And thank you for watching, and please, if you're not subscribed, do consider subscribing. And by the way, these are the new I'm a Biker t-shirts available at 100kmph.com. I'll have the links in the description as well. There are a couple of designs, there are stickers, there are keychains. Do check out the merchandise available. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.